Hey, it's Ox from Dry Fire Trading Cards, and I'm going to show you a great trick that you can use to smooth out and speed up your reloads. And it uses colors and shapes on your magazines and on your mag well. And basically what this is a visual handrail to help you get the magazine into the mag well quickly and efficiently. And the reason it works so well and the reason why it's important is because hitting the mag well without using your eyes depends on proprioception or hand-eye coordination. And depending on how developed your proprioception is, you may or may not be able to do it smoothly and easily and consistently. By adding that visual handrail, it makes the process a lot easier and a lot more predictable, and it allows us to practice our reloads at slow speed and eventually faster and faster speeds to the point where we can do our reloads primarily with proprioception and not using that visual handrail. So the way that it looks is I'm going to use a T4E paintball marker to demonstrate this, and I do this with my Cert, with airsoft, with paintball, and with my real steel. And so what I'm going to do is I'll be shooting and come to slide lock, hit the mag release. I shift my focus to a dot in the mag well, get my magazine, shift my focus to the dot on the magazine, insert the magazine, get my gun back into battery in my preferred method, and sights back on target. So this is a little bit different than what you normally see. What we see a lot more often is people sucking the gun into their workspace. And yes, this is easier, but going from here to here and back out to here takes time. So if you can train your brain, develop the skill to be able to do the reload out here, it's going to be quicker. But that's really not the big advantage. The big advantages are that you are much more able to defend against an attacker rushing you, and you keep much better situational awareness if you do the reload out here as opposed to in here or here. And so if I'm out here and I simply rotate the pistol, I have my arms at an outside 90-degree angle, which creates a great defensive framework. And it's a hard framework to collapse. So what that means is if somebody rushes you, you don't end up with your gun in your face like you would if you had it compressed against your face. If you're here, you got a couple of different options on the reload. Number one is you do it blind, which may work out great, or you look down and the process of converging focus, shifting focal length, looking down here and then looking back again is fairly intensive and time consuming. So if we can avoid that, we want to. When I've got the gun out here, it's a much quicker process, and I retain awareness of what's going on around me while I'm doing my reload. So let me demonstrate with paintball. What I'm going to do is hit the timer. When it goes to 0 and beeps, I'm going to assume that that means that my pistol went to slide lock. I've got it set up in slide lock from the start, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is it works very, very well in limited ammo situations where you don't want to just burn through ammo for the sake of burning through ammo. It works better for airsoft because of the fact that you really don't want to drop airsoft magazines on hard surfaces. And it's a great way to isolate the drill and not get distracted by the shots before the slide lock. So here's what it's going to look like. Shooting, gun goes to slide lock. I hit the mag, rotate, grab my spare mag. I've got my focus on this dot. I shift it to the magazine, insert my magazine, rotate, and shoot. So let me do that a little bit quicker. It's worth noting that you want to practice your reloads at a couple of different speeds. The purpose of this is to provide, like I said, a visual handrail to guide the magazine into the mag well. Eventually you want to be doing it so fast that you don't need that visual handrail. But what this is going to do is help you go from a slow speed up to a faster speed and build proprioception or hand-eye coordination in the process. Depending on stress level, the visual complexity of the situation you're dealing with, and cognitive load, you may not be able to see the colors or shapes in the mag well or on the magazine. But when the speeds are slower, the cognitive load is lower, and the visual complexity is lower, and you're trying to build skill, this is a great tool to use. So I'm going to hit the timer again. So just like that, I'll go through what I did there. I start off with my focus on the front sight. When the beep goes, I shift my focus to the mag well, then to the magazine, back to the front sight, and press. So front sight, mag well, magazine, front sight, and a 1.75 reload at not too fast a speed while I'm talking. So you can see you can smooth out and speed up your reloads fairly quickly with this technique. And one thing that comes up is, what about when you start getting off the X while you're reloading? And one of the things that we've noticed is that depending on how developed somebody's balance or vestibular system is, they're going to have a tendency to suck the gun in even if they did all of their stationary practice out here. And there's a couple of things to learn from that. Number one is, if you notice yourself sucking the gun back in, don't worry about it. Don't force it back out, just go with it. What will happen is, if people are beating themselves up about bringing the gun in instead of leaving it out, a lot of times they'll end up missing the first shot after the reload. If they just accept the fact that they brought the gun in so that they could have a little bit less of a balance challenge, execute the reload, get back on target, they're way more likely to make the shot. So go ahead and try this. I like the Sharpie paint markers for it, but I'm sure there's several options that you could use. On some guns, because of how they're set up, you can only put a dot in of different colors. Others you can put big old shapes on them and call out the shapes after you're done with your reload, and see if you were actually paying attention to it or if you were just aware of where your magazine was. Questions, comments, go ahead and comment below. If you're interested in more information on the T4E paintball markers, check out dryfiretrainingcards.com/T4E.